train for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I've been getting asked a lot recently to do a video on this particular fighter, and you know, I think it's a great time because he's knocking on the door of a world title shot, and if I don't talk about him now, I'll talk about him later because he's going to be a very relevant fighter in the super bantamweight division, and that fighter is none other than the Wonder Boy himself, the number 7 IBF ranked and the number 1 WBO ranked super bantamweight contender in the world, the Philippines' very own Carl James Martin. Now let's talk about Carl James Martin because Carl James Martin, you know, on paper, very good record, 26-0, 20 knockouts, big time puncher. You know, he's a guy that I think will fight for a world title now. Do I think he fights for a world title in 2026? I don't know. That'll all depend upon how Junto Nakatani versus Naoya Inoue goes. You know, I think if the belts go vacant, then of course. But if the belts don't go vacant, you know, we're probably not looking at a Carl James Martin title shot till 2027. But I'm saying at the earliest, late next year. But let's talk about him because he really, like, just being honest with you guys, I don't like doing this with fighters and their resumes, but it's the truth. Right now, as it stands, you know, Carl James Martin hasn't really fought anybody. He's got probably one of the softest resumes of any fighter ranked number 1 anywhere in boxing. I mean, it's pretty padded. I can't lie to you guys. Like, I don't know one person on his entire resume that he's fought. So, you know, and that's hard because I watch a lot of boxing. But, yeah, anyway. That being said, 25 of his 26 fights have been in Mexico and the Philippines. He just had his first fight in America back on May 31st on the undercard of Caleb Plant, Armando Resendiz, right? So he's just now getting to the point where he's going to be fighting in big-time boxing. As far as him as a fighter, look, the best thing I could say about Carl James Martin as a fighter is that he's got a very explosive first step. When he explodes out that first step and commits to his offense, it happens very, very quickly. And the guys that do that are always, you know, big-time punchers. And he is a big-time puncher. You know, he's one of these, you know, Stacey McKinley said it years ago, he's one of these gunslingers, right? And one thing about Carl James Martin is that he doesn't care where he throws his punch from. Like, he doesn't care if he throws his punch from here, 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 from here. Anywhere he can hit you, however he throw the punch, he's going to throw it that way. So that makes him vulnerable, of course, to counter punchers. But it also makes him equally dangerous because, you know, he stays right on top of you and punches come from weird angles that a lot of fighters aren't accustomed to seeing. And he's got power. So if he lands one of those crazy shots, you could really, really get hurt. Now, he's actually signed directly with Manny Pacquiao Promotions and has actually been seen on many occasions training with Manny Pacquiao in the gym. So this is a guy that obviously Manny Pacquiao Promotions and Sean Gibbons and that whole umbrella, they take it under their belt and they have big plans for him. I think he's very, very entertaining. I think you know, when he actually sits in the pocket and he tries to become like a slip shots and become a bit of a defensive fighter, I think he's got decent upper body movement. Like his shoulders are very loose, so he can slip in the pocket pretty well defensively. But right now for me, like I like what I'm seeing from an entertainment standpoint. I think he's going to check all the boxes in the entertainment standpoint. But really, Carl James Martin, you know, I got to give Sean Gibbons and everyone who played a role credit because he really shouldn't even be ranked this high. But the good thing for him is it doesn't matter if he's ranked that high because he's not going to fight for any of the titles because the titles are completely held up by Naoya Inoue, and they're going to stay with Naoya Inoue until he fights Junto Nakatani, and they fight, and based upon what happens in that fight, then we'll know what the timeline looks like for Carl James Martin. So he doesn't really got to fight for a title. He's actually kind of in a blessed position because he can fight guys in the rankings, and there's some guys like John Real Casamaro's in the rankings. He can do that fight. He could do Subaru Murata if you want to fight a guy from Japan. You got Alan Picasso. There's options out there for him, but yeah, for me, the the general like consensus I'm getting with Carl James Martin is that you know, they're really protecting him, and they're doing a great job protecting him, honestly. But very entertaining fighter, explosive southpaw power puncher. I'm not as high on him as I am Kenneth Lovere. Kenneth Lovere, I think, is a better fighter than Carl James Martin. I think Kenneth Lovere could actually be a world champion. Carl James Martin's more of a guy where like he's entertaining, but you gotta have the right guy with the belt to make him champion. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna be in a way. He's not gonna be the Junto. He's not gonna be any of them top guys. But there could be some exciting fights in the future with guys like Marlon Tapales and Ramon Cardenas. Like he's gonna be a factor. Like don't get it twisted. He's gonna be a factor. In this video, things I'm saying about him could age badly. But right now, the jury's out on him. But I think what makes him really dangerous for anybody is just the fact that he'll throw the punches from anywhere, and he does got very heavy hands. When he touches something, when Carl James Martin punches on you, it makes an impact. So that'll always give him a chance to win these fights. But I think from what I've seen, I think there's a lot more work to be done. I think, you know, he's probably, in my opinion, they shouldn't even consider him fighting for a world title for like another 4 fights. I think he needs to develop a little more. And that's just how I see it. But that's my take on Carl James Martin. A gunslinging fighter from the Philippines, being matched very well, and very fortunate that the division title picture for him is gonna be pretty much cemented with Inoue holding the belts, fighting a Junto. In May, of course, Inoue has to get past Merjan. But if he gets past Merjan, Carl James Martin, you know, won't probably be fighting for a title until Inoue drops those belts. So, you know, make of that what you will. But, yeah, really interesting fighter. I'll cover him more as his career develops. I'm still learning more about him myself. But entertaining fighter. I don't know if he's going to be a world title, a real world title threat, even though he's ranked right there. But anyway, leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys stay tuned and subscribe. You won't be disappointed.